And welcome to Respect the Crit. I am your host, Ian Duncan. My pronouns are he, him. Tonight I will be playing Sunny Takasi, the ghoul of the wasteland. And here to play along with me, as always, we are excited to have him, Xavier Trudeau-Deschênes.
Hi, everybody. It's me again, Xavier. He, him. I play Lance Burnett. A scientist vault dweller. He's very violent.
I like this eager, anxious energy that you're bringing to this intro.
Yeah, I realized that my headphones cord was just making noise on my hoodie zipper, and I was very distracted for a moment. I should have expected I was going first. Very professional.
Speaking of professionals, also playing with us here tonight is someone who has never missed any tabletop RPG game ever. Please welcome Susan Spenader.
Hi, I'm Susan Spenader, she, her. I will be playing Gerry, the nomadic survivor of the waste. And professional is putting a lot of pressure on me.
Yeah, but it's pressure that I know you can stand up to.
We'll see.
I think you've already proved it on this show time and time again, and many other shows. But someone who is incredibly confident in the wasteland adventure that he is building for us and all of you, please welcome the overseer, Alex Herrera.
Hello, I'm Alex Herrera. I am the GM for our Fallout campaign. Not professional. Very unsure of where this is going. I literally write this as we play, actually, on index cards. So there is no story. The story is just a bunch of index cards chosen by manatees, like in that one South Park episode.
And we will be doing an auction giveaway of those note cards at the end of this for any interest.
You know what? If anyone wants, I do have a lot.
Actually, yeah, Alex was just showing us some of the note cards and the drawings on them. They are... The detail is in your mind. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
Some are never before seen in the show because the players chose alternate paths.
We are gonna have to go over those because I really wanted a deep dive in the branching paths that we didn't go on. We'll do the what if of the Fallout Evergreen, you know.
That's a good way to extend the show's duration.
Right. Yeah.
Just revisit every skipped encounter.
Yeah. We'll dive into that. I think we'll go into that. We won't do 6 episodes of it, but yeah, that should be interesting. But before that, Alex, without any further ado, please take us into the Evergreen.
Lance wiped the sweat off of his brow, his boots crunching against the ancient, damaged asphalt with each step he took. The holotapes and training described most of what he and the other rats had experienced, but they failed to mention the heat. Lance heard tales from the rats who did manage to return about how hot the Evergreen could be, but always shook these off as tales of people being weak. Big mistake, Lance thought, as he neared the end of the road, the end of the barely stable and standing bridge. Carefully, Lance stepped off the road and onto the real solid wasteland dirt. Surrounded by destroyed buildings of pre-war commerce and ancient symbols of a long-dead society, Lance couldn't help but let his mind wander. Brock and the others really think this is better than home? This place? This mess? This chaos? Lance's mind focused on the image of Brock holding his child and his wife standing at his side. No, it's not about how it is, but he believes about what it can become. Lance realized that perhaps Brock saw the potential the people out here held. The potential to do better than the old world. Maybe Brock and all the other vault dwellers could help the Evergreen. And not just the vault. Maybe. Just maybe. Lance continued walking, but with a small sense of optimism now creeping into his mind with every step. The night came and grew cold. Clouds rolled over the open steel and wooden skeletal remains of the pre-war city. Lance knew he'd need to find some cover for the night. No building seemed intact enough to provide the standards he was looking for in a shelter. Lance eventually found a large building that had all 4 of its walls still solid and unscathed. The building held a large sign above what Lance assumed was a main entrance. Super Duper Mart. Looking at his Pip-Boy, Lance was able to see some of the notes he had taken in regards to the potential scavenging points back when he was preparing in the vault. This place, it appeared, was an old-world grocery store. With the Evergreen now fully enveloped in the darkness of night, Lance saw this location as his only option. Slowly, Lance moved through the crumpled and smashed front entrance. Glass, sand, and other minuscule debris crunched as he stepped in. Lance did worry about creatures potentially taking refuge in the building. His mind immediately flew back to the battle he, Tuco, and Philip had, with the almost endless swarm of mole rats. Lance continued to move past the barren shelves and down the aisles of junk and scrap, careful not to make a sound. Eventually, Lance found an open backroom door, one way in, and plenty of old furniture to barricade himself quickly if needed. The room was once an office of some kind, as far as he could tell. Lance wasted no time and quietly shut the door and placed a chair under the handle to act as a stopper. With his back against the wall, and as he faced the closed door, Lance's eyes grew heavy. He blinked once, twice, then his mind began to dance. Island Town, Brock, the heat, the road, and home. Unsure of what his inner dialogue was building out for him in front of him now in this all-consuming show of sleep, Lance held no worries. The doorknob jostled violently. Lance woke up. More noise and movement sounded off behind the closed door. "This one's locked or something." "What? Fuck it. We'll just take care of him out in the open." 2 rough, scraggly voices barked. Lance was frozen. Maybe it was the grogginess, maybe it was the fear, but whatever it was, Lance did not move. He waited. A minute, 2, maybe 5, before slowly picking himself up. Lance quietly removed the chair, pressed his ear against the door, and listened. Muffled sounds of a conversation. Crying. Someone was crying. Items hitting the ground. Metal or tin clattering against the floor. Lance opened the door slowly. All the muscles in his body tightened and strained as if to prevent him from moving too quickly and making an unwanted sound. As the door opened, Lance could see straight into an open area of the long-dead grocery store. Small rays of moonlight coming in through openings in the ceiling allowed him to get the full picture of what was happening. 3 men knelt with their hands behind their backs, maybe tied by something. Lance wasn't too sure. But what Lance did see were the 7 or 8 other figures who surrounded the 3. Men and women wearing mismatched pieces of armor, some with spikes, others with cages around their heads, and some with human skulls mounted on their shoulders. "Please, take whatever you want. We don't mean any harm or trouble," said one of the 3 men who knelt. One of the figures in spiked armor strode from the edge to stand directly above the kneeling speaker. The clouds moved and allowed for more light to enter the Super Duper Mart. Lance could now see very clearly who these people were. 3 men in Vault 6 jumpsuits with rat standard gear, and the surrounding figures in their hodgepodge armor with faces painted completely white with black outlines around their eyes. These men and women looked almost like ghosts, and it sent shivers down his spine. "Oh, we'll take what we want. That's gonna happen no matter what. But now, we gotta decide how fast it should be," said the man standing over the vault dwellers. "How fast what?" Before the vault dweller could finish, the painted man had shoved a sharpened pipe straight through the vault dweller's open mouth. In one quick movement, and with the aid of his boot, the painted man pulled the sharpened pipe out and twirled it in his hands expertly. "How fast you should be dying, or how slow it's gonna be," chuckled the painted man as he slowly circled the remaining 2 vault dwellers. Lance wanted to help. He wanted to leap out from behind the office door and crush these painted maniacs' skulls one by one. He wanted to grab a piece of fallen roofing and jam it into the chest of all the painted freaks. But he didn't. Lance hid, frozen in fear and anger, all swirling together, his mind awash in a mixture of dangerous emotions. And yet, all he could do was watch. Watched as the other 2 vault dwellers pleaded, begged, and prayed for their lives, as the painted men and women took turns mutilating them. Their laughter echoed in the long dead grocery store and washed away the screams of pain, the gurgles and gasps of last breaths that had been taken. Lance watched as the painted people exited the Super Duper Mart, and one lone one stared back at the door he was hiding behind. Lance felt his heart stop as the man seemed to focus on him, but quickly shook his head and mumbled something to himself and exited. Lance stood up once the coast was clear and realized he was holding something in his right hand. Lance looked down and saw his crumpled hockey jersey in his hand.
Realizing he's been clutching his jersey almost unconsciously, he realized that he was trying to reach for something in his bag. He realizes that despite being frozen in fear, he had been trying to do something when he saw them kill his comrades. He was trying to reach for an ammunition clip. He remembered that his pistol was still empty from the mole rat fight. He remembers that he was careless, that he didn't think about it, that he didn't think he would need to use it, and he realizes that he couldn't do anything because he wasn't prepared for it. And in trying to reach for the ammo clip, all he could reach for was that jersey. And he releases it and decides to go to those 3 bodies.
Lance steps over the debris and rubble of the Super Duper Mart, reaching the 3 corpses, one in much worse shape than the other 2. He can easily identify them as people he knew from the vault, not necessarily on a personal level, but 2 of them are around his age group. But the one who had the unfortunate fate of the pipe going through their face seems to be, or what can be determined from what is left, as an older person, an instructor of some kind, somebody they met in passing perhaps in their time in their life in the vault. Just looking at their supplies and their gear completely ransacked. Nothing left of value. No ammunition, no weaponry. Their packs are emptied of the goods, the food that they had. The only things that remain on them are the Pip Boys.
But he tries to access the Pip Boys. Surely there's a message that needs to be brought back to the vault. Surely there's information that can be helpful to the vault. Surely he can finish their mission for them.
Lance attempts to navigate the Pip Boys of these individuals, but the only thing that he can get from them is that their current wearer is deceased. He gets, however, to one. I would say one of the 2 others who were mutilated, and it shows vital signs. Very, very low life still on this one person. Their heart rate dropping. If there was a way to measure blood, their blood pressure is dropping. All vitals point that this person's life is going to extinguish very, very soon.
Well, then Lance loses not a moment. He'll take all of his medical supplies and he'll do everything in his power to try to save this life, and trying to go as fast as he can with trembling hands and low visibility, very, very dim light. He'll still try to do his best to save this one life.
Lance operates as best he can given the tools he has at his disposal at this time. The person's vitals never stabilize. Lance tries his hardest, reaching deep into his memories from the books or the holotapes and the books that he used to learn all the surgical techniques and medical mumbo jumbo that he sifted through in his education. But the loss of blood is just too severe. The number of damage and mutilations been done to this person, even if they should survive, would cause their life to be terrible, unlivable. And as this realization slowly dawns on him that he can do nothing else for this person, the individual looks up at him through a scarred, battered, just completely almost disfigured face. It reaches out, or the person reaches out and puts their hand over Lance's hand to make them stop what they're doing, as Lance continues to try and apply whatever medical knowledge he can. The hand remains on Lance's, and with surprisingly forceful push, moves the hand away. The individual looks at Lance through one open eye and slowly shakes their head and reaches for something inside their jumpsuit pocket, a very familiar secret compartment that Lance is familiar with on the inside of the jumpsuit, and pulls out a necklace made from just, scrap metal chains, things like very, very small, and hands it to Lance. And almost as if using the last of their life to try and hand this off to Lance. And as it drops into Lance's hand, the person extinguishes their life. They cease to live.
Lance's head just drops, and he looks at the necklace in his hand. And the noise that his knuckles make as they pop, as he's clenching that fist over the body, he turns around to punch something, a window, a trash can, something, but he stops himself because he knows it's going to make some noise. Punches the ground 5 times with his unopening hand. Then he goes to scream, to let out the loudest scream he can. But he takes the jersey shirt and bites into it and yells into it.
Cut back to our party. I think we were walking to the market. I can't remember exactly.
Nothing as depressing as that.
When you were talking after the necklace bit, I realized I was still clenching my fist. I had to open my hand because it was getting sore.
Oh no.
So we're going to the market then.
Sounds like
Yes.
it. We do got to get supplies. I know that.
Yes.
The covered market is just this large collection of stalls, tents, shacks, all covered by these multicolored tarps that have been almost fused together via, stitching or duct tape, all kinds of adhesive material to just make this large tarp that overstretches what was once a pre-war parking lot. Now filled with, like I mentioned before, tents and stalls. Every now and then you'll see wooden stalls haphazardly built. There's some shacks of weird geometric shapes that shouldn't be a building, but they do exist, like L's. There's even some haphazard ones kind of put together, like businesses that have fused. Hey, let's make our business combined. And it makes for a really nauseating kind of maze-like experience as you go through these different stalls. A majority of the population, I would say, is here because I believe it's still midday. And what are you looking for specifically?
I think, yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong here. I think we want to trade some of these guns we pilfered to get some food, water, and maybe some medical supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so medical
and
supplies
ammo. We need some 10mm.
Medical supplies you will not find in the covered market. You'll have to go to the cathedral itself, the cathedral proper, to get that.
Okay.
And I would say you learn this as you're shopping around. A lot of the merchants tell you hey, no, medical supplies are sold in the church or in the cathedral. We don't have access to that. You're gonna have to. They say they all mention the leader. You have to talk to Sam about that. Sam will tell you where you can get that. You'll have to talk to Sam.
Sam, got it.
Do we need medical supplies though?
I guess that would be a question for you then, as we're going through.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I can just, I can try to roll to do first aid for substantial healing. I guess we could. We can't have too many cams, right? We can't have too many stim bags.
I mean, we saw the value of buff out. Like that was insane.
I mean, if the priest has buff outs, yeah.
How do you know it's a priest?
Did you say church?
It's a cathedral.
Okay, well, that's the only reason. I'm assuming a lot.
Just for flavor text, I think as we're walking through the market and it dawns on Gerry how closed in this is to her, without unconsciously she might be like hurting Sunny and Lance, like just like keeping them together without realizing she's doing it, like go from one side to the other, make sure they're like shoulder to shoulder and like
like a corgi.
Yeah. And just like going from the front to like wedge us through the crowd to the back of you two, and then like going around you guys to make sure like you're shoulder to shoulder at all times after these like harrowing experiences, just keeping us all as like together and safe.
Another thing I want to point out, Gerry could call for reminding me. Although it's a small settlement, there's a lot of people here. There are crowds, but they don't get in your way. They see you three walking and they move. They're not used. You immediately get this. Like I mentioned this last time, but now it's cemented in all of you that they don't get visitors very often. And so you three coming in, they're like, people kind of move out of your way. There's like a scant amount of children, but when they see Sunny, they kind of like they like point and run away.
He like does a little. He like does a little wave like hi. I think in counterpoint to Gerry, like Sunny is in his element. Like he is feeling himself. It's an open air market. I mean, it's got like canopy and stuff like that, but it's like open air and stall, and he's just like he's that like kid in a crowd that like you are constantly losing because they're just like moving through the crowd, you know, and like getting ahead of you.
You're driving Gerry crazy.
Yeah. And so like Gerry's doing her job, like trying to keep them together. But yeah, he's like moving from stall to stall, just like asking questions, like looking at the produce. And like he's really, because this is all like really reminding him of, you know, like 200 years ago in the Pike Place market of Seattle, like walking through the markets and like just bumping into people and being in with the life there, and like he is in his element. So yeah, he's like losing himself, and like Gerry is constantly like getting them all aligned again.
So I would also say that Sunny gets these really strong Garfield vibes when Garfield was a thing. Like I'd say that feeds into it. Like, oh, this is like very reminiscent of that.
It's like prosperous.
Garfield's still
and,
a
like,
thing.
I mean, real life, that area of Seattle exists. Yes, I don't know if it's called the Garfield area, but I know there's
Making a Garfield joke.
I approve of the lifestyle of these people. They hate Mondays and they love lasagna.
lasagna for sale.
Yeah. Oh, please tell me there's a lasagna merchant here.
There's somebody who's selling something reminiscent of lasagna, but it's not. I wouldn't eat it.
Right. It's like all made out of like Blammo mac and cheese and like cram and
special
stuff.
sauce uranium. Like, oh, okay. Lance, the Island Town's crowds for you were too much, but while in First Hill, you didn't really go into the crowds too much. So this one's kind of just like a little, this one's almost claustrophobic for you. There's a lot of people, a lot of movement.
I feel like it happens at the worst time, worst possible time too, because he's so tired. He's so tired. He hasn't had a good night's rest since leaving the vault. And now I don't know how long it's been, but like the past 2 days, the past day, like since Union, have been survival. One day.
It's been 1 day,
felt like two. Felt like more. It's disorienting. This crowd is the sounds, the people, the movement. The other reason Gerry has to herd Sunny and Lance is because Sunny's going one way and Lance is kind of just lost. He's the lost child. Sunny's the child who wanders around.
Yeah.
Lance just gets lost. So he needs Gerry to kind of keep him on track. Sonny says something, he hears it, but he doesn't remember what Sonny just said. Gerry tells him, come here. And he's like, I wasn't I? And he wasn't. And yeah, this is a mess. His 3 hit points are getting to him. He needs to recuperate from all that.
So I'd say it's more, he's very irritable too. So when people bump into him, it's kind of just
yes,
like a snarl. People like they're already nervous from seeing newcomers, so they bump into this big hunk of meat walking down, and it's just like and just like a snarl. People kind of freak out. At one point though, Lance, you're gonna bump in, just because you said this, I'm gonna feed off of you saying this. You're gonna bump into like a counter, like a table, right, and just gonna knock into it. Stuff's gonna rattle and shake. First instinct, who put a fucking table here, is what you're gonna think. And then you look around and you're inside one of these tents. And you look behind you and Gerry and Sonny are at least a good 5 tents back. And Gerry's looking at you and still at Sonny with her hands kind of like outstretched in both directions, like, oh my god, what am I supposed to do? And as you bump into this table, there's going to be this gentleman wearing this beige duster. He has kind of fingerless gloves. The duster's open. You can see kind of like 2 bandoliers, a black kind of, what would you call it? Like a tank top t-shirt, and some darker brown pants that have seen better days, and some really, really dark brown boots as well. He's going to step forward. Hey there, friend. You, looking for something to buy? And it's this gentleman with, I would say he's got like the kind of Skrillex haircut, blonde hair, and he's wearing glasses. Very, very nicely kept glasses. A little bit of facial hair, very lean. Probably around your height as well, though.
Lance looks down at the table again. He was about to lash out, but yeah, what you selling?
Oh, I sell all kinds of things. Odds and ends, junk, some people call it. But really, I sell what you're looking for. I hope, anyways. And he has this smile, like this unwavering smile. His calmness is a little upsetting for you in this moment because you're like up here. But he's patiently trying to bring you like, hey, like trying to corgi you down to his level.
He looks over his shoulder and looks back at him. All right, let me get my associates over here. I've got a guy you're gonna love. And he whistles with his 2 fingers to call Gerry and Sonny over.
Gerry already knew where you were, but Sonny was talking to somebody and hears it and turns around. Hearing that whistle, it's like, whoa, what's that? If it's okay, I would assume, Sonny, that you walk over there. Okay, and then Gerry.
If I could add something, maybe Gerry grabs Sonny by his sleeve, like doesn't want to invade his space, but like tugs him this way, like.
Very nice. I'll have to. Oh, I'm going. Okay, we're going now. Bye. Great to meet you.
And as you say that, Lance, about your associates, he goes, "Oh, the more the merrier. Awesome." And he looks at you and he goes, "I think I got something you'll like. You don't mind waiting just a second, do you?"
He just lifts his nose, kind of like, "Yeah, go."
Okay. He goes. There's like another, like a makeshift flap that separates this part of the tent and some other back section of the tent.
And this entire time, Gerry's been like, I in my head, there's like 2 tent flaps. She goes from one to the other, and then like keeps her eye on Sonny and Lance. Because seriously, since Union, they've been like running.
Yeah.
As he goes in, you hear a meow, and this little thing runs out from behind this back section of the tent, and there's a cat sitting on the table looking at you, this solid black cat, and it just looks at you, its tail kind of doing a quick swish every now and then.
I think maybe Lance likes cats. I think that might be a thing.
He's read about them, but he's never seen them in real life. This is like a...
Oh, there's no cats in the vault.
No, you have no pets in that vault. Absolutely no pets.
Okay. Then yes, that was one of Lence's lifelong dreams, was to see a cat. He's not in a great state for it, but there's no inhibitions. Like, inhibitions very low, so he'll just go for the cat, go for a pet.
The cat accepts graciously, just rubbing against your hand.
Little Lance petting a cat moment.
Yeah, and Gerry and Sunny approach the tent, and they see Lance petting what Sunny hasn't seen in a long time.
Whoa, Lance, you found a new friend.
This one is nice.
Just purrs. It looks at Sunny and Gerry and continues to rub its head into the hand. The gentleman comes out from the back area and is carrying in his hands a couple different things. You can't really discern what they are, and he sees the party. Oh, I see you met the Maharaja.
Nods.
Yeah, he's a friendly guy. And he kind of bends down to look at the cat. Hey, I need to do some business. And the cat just looks back, slow blinks, and then walks away.
Call me.
Always great to meet royalty.
The guy laughs. Yeah, I found an old holotape about great figures in history. I thought it was a very pretty sounding word, so I named my cat after it. And he looks at Lance. You. And he goes through the pile of junk that he just brought out. And he pulls out a beautifully polished sword. With this kind of like golden, what's it called? The hilt, or the section that where the blade connects to the handle and the pommel. I assume it's hilt. But it's got like a intricate design of like a lion's mouth. Like kind of in the ancient Chinese style of lions. Like, you know, they have the two lions in front of buildings with the paws up. On each side, it looks like the lion's mouth opening. The blade is pretty short, but very sharp, and it's in a sheath as he pulls it out, swings it around a little, and puts it back, and hands it to you. What do you think?
I think it looks pretty cool. What do you want me to do with this?
I would think this sword plus your arms equals something's getting cut down pretty quickly.
Look, pal, it's neat. I'd rather have it on my wall than in my hands. I don't really need it. And he kind of like looks at his, I don't know, probably bruised knuckles at this point. He's like, I got all the weapons I need right here.
Fair enough. Fair enough. He takes it, puts it down on the counter. It'll be here if you need it. Smiles, and he looks to the other two. You guys looking for something special too, or?
Oh yeah, looking for a couple of things special. Hey, one sec. I pull Lance aside just a little bit, and I'm just like, you want the sword? You want a sword?
I want you to get whatever you can from that guy and still have him pay you. Like, I want you to work your magic.
That's not a problem. Don't worry about that. I'll work my magic. That's my sunny disposition.
I know. I trust you.
But if you want to, I'm just saying, you know, you're a little grumpy. We're all tired. So if there's something here you want, just let me know. I'll get him to throw it in or something.
I'll look around.
Okay. You just let me know. I like look over this stuff. Is there anything here that's like, that is like food or ammo, or this is just like junk stuff?
This is all junk. Yep.
I do a brief scan to see if there's any parts for Mr. Handy at all.
Give me intelligence repair. Yeah, intelligence repair. Or intelligence science. Let's see if you can identify some good old Mr. Handy parts.
Okay, intelligence 5, science 0.
We'll call it DC 2.
DC 2? Alright.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna... Nope. It all just looks like junk to Sunny.
Yeah, no, nothing looks like a usable part for the Mr. Handy.
Alright, I chat him up a little bit, and I'm like, hey, you heard of the townie here around, and we're looking for, you know, food, water, we got some stuff to trade in, ammunition, those kind of things. You know of the townie, do they sell that kind of thing, or do you know of somewhere we can go?
He smiles and looks at Sunny. Oh yeah, the townie. I know that guy, that's me.
Oh, townie is you.
Yeah, people call me the Townie, Old Three Eyes, bunch of different names.
I'm just now putting it together. This is that
This is the guy.
YouTube guy, right? Yeah.
That is the YouTube guy.
Yeah. That's
The
fantastic.
YouTube guy?
There's a gentleman on YouTube who has been doing rule videos about Fallout D20 from Modiphius. And I DM'd him a while back, and I was like, hey, we're running this campaign, blah, blah, blah. We're a podcast. Just want to make sure I have permission to use you in there because I think you'd make an interesting NPC. He's like, oh, that's great. So I asked him a bunch of questions, and the result is this gentleman who stands before you.
Nice.
Yeah,
He's got good videos. Those are good videos.
they're really good.
Yeah.
They're very good.
Well, then I extend my hand and I say, well, pleasure to meet you, Sunny Sundries. First Hill. Got my own shop, that kind of thing. Fellow merchant, pleasure to meet you.
He shakes your hand. Oh, wow. Pleasure's all mine. And then he kind of, you can tell like when he grips your hand, it's almost like just from your natural charisma, like you just feel like this guy's like, he's getting a read on you just from shaking your hand.
Oh.
And
he's
when
trying to
he
figure me out. Don't try and figure out something.
when he lets go, he points at you. I think you're a fan of literature. And he says, 1 second. Goes through the junk, pulls out somehow through this junk, almost like magic, a semi-pristine magazine, True Police Stories magazine, and hands it to you.
I pull it, I flip through it.
Well, he stops you from flipping it. Whoa. Sorry, but if you want to read it, you got to buy it. It's kind of a rule with literature. I'm sure you understand.
Oh, yes, of course. What issue is this? What is this one? I take a glance. I may have already read it, so...
Let's find out. Perk. Once, when you roll the damage of an attack, you may spend a luck point to turn up to 3 combat dice to any face, rather than rolling them. If you learn this perk, you may do this once per scene.
Whoa. Yeah, I take a look and I say, oh, look at that. One I haven't read before. I'm so surprised. What are you looking to trade for this?
Well, he looks around. I have a lot of stuff already. Kind of in the market for some caps currently. But, depending on what you have, we can maybe haggle it down. After all, I'm dealing with a very accomplished businessman here in front of me, so I assume there's no compromise we can't find.
Oh, flattery will get you everywhere. I don't think we have? I mean, I had caps, but I don't know if I have them on me anymore.
Oh, we have a shit ton now.
You have a lot now. You stole fucking Emmett's.
I think you took
We have
it down,
120.
Like you noted.
Oh,
Okay.
that's right. Okay, yeah, you're right.
And then Gerry's not sharing this information, but she has some too.
Ooh, me too. 6 of them.
Okay, so I'm like, okay, well, what do you think is a fair price for this beat up old magazine?
Well, normally these guys go for about 150 in other markets. I could do 100 for this one.
100, you say? Yeah, I could see that maybe being a fair price. But the thing about magazines is you read them once and then it's over. They lose a bunch of value after that. So I think we probably gotta make up for that in the price, don't we?
You're gonna have to barter for me on this one.
Excellent.
DC for this, 3.
But actually, the DC is gonna be 2 because any barter test I attempt, I can reduce it by 1.
You got it.
I'll buy 1 extra die.
Yeah.
Your luck points.
I gotta hit a 12. It's a 2 difficulty now. Roll it. Oh man. Oh,
Hey.
I got a 12.
Stuff of nightmares.
Hang on. Because I do have my hat, I do get to re-roll a single d20 on a charisma.
I think you want to reroll that 19 because that's a complication if you don't.
Hey! There we go. That's more
And it's
like
a tag
the Sunny
skill,
we
so
know.
that's a action point, right?
It is a tag skill, yeah. So
There
that's
you go. You got one action point.
one action point.
Congratulations.
You did
guys. The townie, in not heated negotiations, but in very calm and in-depth.
Oh, it would never
negotiations.
be heated. No, never. This is a gentleman's discussion.
Yeah, he'll look at you, Sonny. You know, why not? Life's too short. Well, at least for me, anyways. He smiles. I'll go 70.
70. Yeah, I could do 70. That sounds real good.
As we're kind of like talking, like in a lower voice, Lance just asks Sonny, "Didn't we also want some information from him about V and Marcos?"
And then I turn back to Townie. Hey, just you sound like you're a man about town. You got your ear to the ground. You seem very perceptive. Looks like you don't get too many outsiders. You get any outsiders recently? A boy and a girl coming around here? Or heard anything about them coming from outside?
Yeah, well, I'm not originally from here either. I kind of just go from settlement to settlement. And he kind of gestures to you, kind of similar to what I assume you do, just kind of scanning you. But, yeah, I've heard people in the cathedral, normally they take in any newcomers, they give them, like, a place to sleep, place to hang the hat, so to speak. But that's probably where I'd start if I was asking about newcomers.
All right, great. Yeah, thank you so much for this great purchase and for that information.
Sure. As I assume you're all kind of like getting ready to go, he'll put a finger up. Well, if I can. I like to leave people with a little bit of advice. Doesn't have to be followed. Talking it out often opens new paths or ideas one might have missed or never thought of.
You know what? I couldn't agree more. I love to talk to people.
And he just nods in agreement. Well, if you guys want any junk or anything else, my stuff will be here for a few more days.
Hey, one more thing. It's about a Pip-Boy you recently sold. Care to tell me where you acquired it?
Oh, sure. I sold it to that guy. What was his name? Emmett. He lives here, I think. That Pip-Boy. I was walking around downtown. Not advised, by the way. And, was getting a little abused by some of those super mutants. Eventually, I decided I'm gonna take refuge. Found a nice little building. Something kind of caught my eye in one of the rooms on the first floor, and being the man that I am, I had to discover and explore. Found that there was a woman corpse, if you will, kind of slumped against a chair. She had a shotgun propped in her arms, and I saw the Pip-Boy. Normally, with Vault Dwellers, and he looks right at Lance when he says this, with Vault Dwellers, I tend to leave their stuff where it is. Respect to the dead, first and foremost. But the Pip-Boy was playing a message, and it kept saying over and over again to, get this back to the vault, get this back, so-and-so, and I would love to have given it back to the vault, but I don't know where it is. But something about that voice was just really compelling. So I carefully removed the Pip-Boy, and I buried the body. I figured somebody would come looking for the tape, and I decided, well, the Pip-Boy is probably useless to anyone else that doesn't know how to use it, but hey, somebody probably want to buy it. So I just kept it on my shelf. Made a copy of that holotape, and then he reaches into the junk and pulls out a perfectly clean holotape, orange with the white center. It's got the whole recording on there. I take it you're from the same vault?
Yeah.
And he'll hand it to you, free of charge.
He looks down at the tape, back at him, down at the tape again. He takes it, and then he'll extend a hand to shake.
Townie shakes his hand.
He does a firm shake, but like not a crit handshake, like a perfect handshake.
Crit handshake, yeah.
And he sorts of locks eyes, and just says a really genuine, "Thank you for what you've done."
Yeah, of course. I mean, if it's somebody that I knew from where I'm from, I'd want them to be buried too. Still have the shotgun too, but that's part of my collection.
You keep it.
The Maharaja will reemerge on the table and look at him and just stare at him. He'll look back. Sorry, gang. Gotta feed my cat. He gets like a sign from the junk It's like a little triangular sign and post that says back in 15 minutes. So I assume business with the townie is done.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I think we still want to get some like food and water and stuff, and we don't have to do like full on scenes for that if you don't want to.
I think like Sunny, just because he's like going from one place to the next, we're following him at this point. But I think because Gerry sees how tired Lance is, she will actually like grab his hand, but his hand's so big that she probably just like holds like two of his fingers to drag him along.
Yeah.
Just so he doesn't like wander off again.
Sounds like Jerry's getting what she wanted in the first place.
Keeping everyone in one spot.
You're tired. Let me hold your hand, Lance.
Actually,
I'm so tired.
I've been thinking about Gerry. I think she's asexual.
I believe that.
Okay, yeah.
Because she didn't pick up on Bear.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she didn't. Yeah, she's just like,
Yeah.
what the fuck's wrong with you, you fucking weirdo?
Bounce
Like,
right off.
Yeah.
Totally.
it's like Big X. All advances, like, to him, advances mean nothing. He's like, why?
Reflect.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to buy parts for my ship, god damn it.
I'm just trying to survive. Like, she
Yeah.
can appreciate that Lance is a very handsome human being. Just the symmetrical, but that doesn't mean she wants to bone him.
It's the artistry of it.
Yeah.
All right, food. What kind of food would you be looking for specifically? Because there's a lot.
Well, it makes no difference to Sunny, but probably if there's anything that doesn't give radiation.
Yeah.
There's the key. Yes. So I would say Gerry finds this first. It's basically an area of the covered market where they're grilling. They're cooking food. And I would say it's her who does, she's the one who points out, like, we need to eat cooked food. So there's baked bloatfly, and it's the most commonly found food, as all these people in the settlement seem to be very big on eating bloatfly. Then you got Institute Food Packet. I would say that it's not a place that any of you are familiar with, but it looks like the silver packet with the orange, like an orange stamp of this strange symbol of the fucking Michelangelo or Da Vinci Man on the cover, right? The Vitruvian Man.
Lance is probably an institution packet kind of guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
because
would
of the
think so,
vault,
too.
like meals ready to eat
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Yeah. The other thing, because I always used to get this in the game, where noodle cups. Because noodle cups, I don't know if they do it in here, but in Fallout 4 they heal hunger and also thirst.
They do not in this game.
Okay.
They nerfed it. Patch 1.1.
That's fine. That's fine. We can still get some noodle cups because they're still good.
Modiphius, fix the noodle cup patch, bro.
Lance sees Sunny eyeball the cup noodles. And he's like, Sunny, just... He gives him his 6 gaps.
Oh.
Lance, your money's no good here.
Get yourself something nice. Get those noodles.
It's so hard to deny a handsome man like you telling me to treat myself, you know? It's just... Okay. They're real good, though. I guarantee. Real good. My mom used to make these. Mwah. I'm telling you. We also need water. We also have a laser rifle that we can sell. I've got 130 caps, so if we can get it down a little bit, we should be covered. This is my hope. Trading this laser rifle, we can get our supplies and some ammunition.
So you'll sell the laser gun, but I'm gonna need Sunny to give me a barter check again.
All right, let's do this roll.
I would say a success knocks down 10 caps from each of the totals. So 10 from the food, 10 from the water, and 10 from the bullets.
Okay, do
Well,
I need
that-
to roll for each of
No,
those, or-
we'll do it one fell swoop. And this is an opposed check, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's charisma and barter versus their charisma and barter.
What do I gotta hit?
Well, if you want to put in that terms, you have to beat 1. Because I got 1 and I got a complication on my end.
I understand.
So we'll do that in a second as well.
You lose your business.
You guys run this. You run this food merchant out of town.
Oh no.
Okay, I am gonna spend an action point to get 1 extra die.
Gone.
So this is charisma 8 plus barter 4, so that's 12. Here we go. Roll it.
What?
9, 7, 2, and that 2 is a tag skill crit.
3 action points as we respect the crit for that 2. Successfully reducing the overall cost by 30. But also, I'm going to say, because I rolled a complication, I'm going to double the amount that is reduced, so another 30.
Oh.
Ooh.
94 caps total is what you're spending.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Yeah, I rolled a 20. I
That's
rolled
awesome.
a 7 and a 20.
Whew. Sunny does work some magic.
Yeah.
So give me a description for this, Ian. What does it look like when Sunny not only haggles successfully, but makes all these different merchants basically bend to his whims of negotiations?
Sunny turns to Lance and Gerry, and he's like, "Okay, Gerry, I know what you're doing, and it's great, and I love it. You're gonna have to let me off the chain for this one. I gotta go do my thing."
Yeah. Gerry glances from you to Lance and then back to Sunny. I think there's one of you that I need to keep my eye on more. So, we're good.
I understand. I go, "Lance, your pretty beautiful face, don't you worry it. I am gonna work some magic just for you."
All right. I'll be watching.
And then Sunny is gone. He's like in the crowd. He's moving through. He's like talking. We like cut to a montage where he's just basically like going from stall to stall, like laughing and like glad handing, and then like looking at stuff, like putting his hand to his face and like nodding and thinking and putting on a big show. And he's basically like looking for the best price, seeing who is the best merchant. Like who can he get the cheapest from and the best. He's doing things like swapping, where he'll like pay caps for something and buy it and then bring it to another merchant and then sell it so that he can get more caps to like buy the things that they actually want. And he's just like in his element and he's having a good time. He's like getting free samples that are being offered from the food vendors, and he's just like walking past Lance and Gerry all the time and just like depositing stuff to them, like giving them free samples in their hands for them to eat. And then as he comes back, he's got like bottles of water. He just like sticks them, and he's like slowly like providing all of the supplies that they need until eventually they have everything.
People are walking by as you're at this table, like looking at all the stuff, like, wow.
There's a moment where Lance's the hair at the back of his neck raises, and he looks at Gerry and goes like, "It's happening. Did you feel that?"
Yeah, and then Gerry looks over to Lance. God damn, sometimes he impresses me.
And he comes back and he's like, "I got 3 people interested in being hired over at First Hill. It's tentative, but offers on the table. We're negotiating." And he like claps his hands and he goes, there. That's Sunny's sunny disposition. Anything else? Oh, I want to look for a power fist.
A power fist. What's the rarity in a power fist?
Yeah.
This is an independent settlement, but I don't know if they'd have it.
Or some kind of unarmed thing.
You will find a boxing glove.
Okay. Is that any better? Hold on, I'm looking to see if that's any better than the brass knuckles.
It's the same, but it has one extra. It has an effect. It has stun.
Ooh.
Xavier, that sound like anything you're interested in?
Yeah.
And it costs the same. It's 10 caps. Costs the same as brass knuckles. The only thing is he can't conceal it, so he's wearing a fucking boxing glove. Or I can say, or you could say like it has like the string and it's like tied around something. Where you just carry it.
Yeah.
At his belt for sure, or his bandolier.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just call it, if it's 10, let's just call it 10.
Okay.
And I'll come back and I've got something behind my back, and I go, "And Lance, got something for you too." And I hand you a pair of boxing gloves, specified however Lance once then.
I think Lance is actually taken aback by this gesture of kindness from Sunny. Because it's probably the first time there's no ulterior motive. He takes the gloves and looks Sunny into his eyes. You know, I could kiss you, man. Thanks, Sunny. I can do some real good with these.
Well, I'm not saying you have to, but I'm not saying I wouldn't like it.
I said I could.
Okay, fair enough. I hope you enjoy.
Anything special about these boxing gloves, Lance?
What's on it? It's signed. I don't know who signed it from the old world, but it's signed.
Let's come up with them right now. What kind of boxer would be?
And it's still intact.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
somehow it lasted this long.
Of course. It was in someone's memorabilia case.
Yeah.
There's a random boxer generator. I'm going
Let's
to do
go.
it.
What's his name?
Okay.
Let's do that. Let's not pick favorites. Let's randomize it.
Murade Hakar?
Murade Hakar.
That's what it is. That's
Murade
badass.
Hakar, yeah.
Roddy Hakar.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck. That's cool.
I just looked him up. He's a French middleweight boxer, too, so it's very perfect for Xavier.
For Xavier.
Whoa. I thought it was like
Nice.
random names, like a made up boxer names.
No, I looked up a
Real
random actual
boxer.
boxer.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Sir,
That's cool.
thank you for your service.
Lance, since it's your glove, give me his nickname, like Murade Blank Hakar. Like,
Oh. Point Break.
Yes.
oh
Yes.
man. So Sunny Hands Lance. In my head, for some reason, I envision it being a solid black boxing glove with gold trim on the bottom and like on the strings, and it's signed. And it says, "Murade Point Break Hakar. May all your hits be grand."
Hello, survivors, vault dwellers, and denizens of the wastes. Not going to be a long mid-roll. We're more than halfway through the episode, and more than halfway through our Fallout campaign. But don't worry, there's still plenty left. And when we get to the end, we're going to pick up right where we left off in our Star Wars story, so you've got plenty to look forward to. Just want to remind you that our discount over at Modiphius.net or Modiphius.us, if you prefer US shipping rates, is still in effect and will be until our campaign is over. So use code RTC10, that's RTC10 at checkout, and you'll get 10% off all Fallout 2D20 stuff. That includes books, bundles, Nuka-Cola caps, everything. So go build your own Fallout Wasteland and share with us your post-apocalyptic adventures. That's it. Thank you to our friends at Modiphius Entertainment, and thank you for listening, for downloading, and for leaving us your feedback. Now, let's get back to the Evergreen.
Do you want to look for chems, Mr. Lance? I will tell you that chems here. You know what? Let's do it this way. You look around the market for chems. Everyone you ask says that no, they don't sell that here. Looks like drugs or specific chems are not sold here. Medical supplies are sold in the cathedral. But as far as like buff out mentats, Psycho Jet, those kind of things, no one has it here. And they also kind of give you a look at this taste when you ask for like buff out or any type of enhancement.
Okay. Townie said we should go to the cathedral for information. Okay, let's go to the cathedral. Fuck it. Let's go.
After shopping, the party ends up walking to the cathedral, not too far from the covered markets. Again, noticing the turrets, the people on the walkways around the town, around the settlement, and a large wall on the eastern side that seems to be under repairs, and people are working very furiously to repair it. as you walk into the cathedral. In here, it seems that they have set up like almost tiny makeshift homes out of wood, almost like wooden shacks built next to each other. One long walkway down the center, the main aisle of this large cathedral. Above those is a second floor. You'll see people walking back and forth up there, but they're dressed a little differently than the common people walking down here. They appear to be in, at least what you can see from down here, some very kind of tarnished medical robes. And as you continue walking through this, I guess, neighborhood, people will come out of their shacks or homes and watch as you pass by. Some of them have kids inside of them. They'll look and you can hear whispers of like, who are they? What are they doing here? I would call him local militiaman, kind of walks past you and looks at the three of you. Says, hey, you new here? Nervously, kind of not reaching for his weapon, just kind of nervous from his demeanor in general, speaking to three new people.
Yes, yeah, we're new. We're new in town.
Are you looking for Sam?
I believe so, yeah. He sells the medical supplies, that kind of thing.
I mean, yeah, but Sam's also the mayor.
Sure. Is he available?
Oh, yeah. He, the back rooms. He lives back there.
Gotcha. Does he also do the intake of all the, like, new people coming? Like, would he be the guy to talk to if new people are coming in, or be more, boots on the ground kind of people like yourself?
Oh, well, I mean, we don't get a lot of visitors, but when they do come here, they're either injured or dying, so they'll find their way here. And he points behind, and on the dais where like the cathedral, where the podium would be for like the priest to give his sermons or whatever, it's this kind of it's like a medical tent that's been placed up there. You see a haphazardly drawn red cross symbol on a piece of wood, kind of just placed on the ground, leaning up against a pole of some kind. You can hear machines and monitors behind there, and a generator consistently pumping. All of you would recognize the sound of the generator, but Gerry recognized the smell of a generator, like the gas that's burning from it, and it kind of hits her like, all of these people live in this tight quarters, and this generator is just continually going. Not good. It's not good for them.
Yeah, I guess we thank this person and make our way to the tent.
So walking up the little raised platform, the tent, you'll open one of the flaps. It's like an old military tent that's been repurposed to be this kind of medical tent that's been shaped oddly for the inside of this cathedral. Inside, there are about 10 beds, and only about 3 of them have people in them. And Lance, if you can give me, let's call it perception medicine. DC of 1.
Yeah.
Lance, when you walk in, I'd say Sonny's in first, then Lance, and then Gerry, who's hurting everyone to get in there. Sonny walks in, kind of just walks by the people on the bed, just giving them like kind of, the normal analysis. But Lance, upon seeing these 3 people in the bed, 2 men, 1 woman, they have multiple gunshot wounds. And one of them, his leg is in the incorrect position and has what looks like tread marks going across it, like from the bottom, or one side to the other, I should say, sorry. A woman will approach the group. Do you guys need help? Are you hurt? Is anyone? And then she kind of assesses you. Oh. No, you're new here.
Hello, Sonny Takasi, Sonny Sundries. This is Lance. This is Gerry. We're looking for Sam.
Puts her finger up 1 second. Turns around. Walks to the back. She begins whispering to this kind of older man. He appears to be kind of darker skin, maybe Middle Eastern. And she kind of whispers to him, and he perks up. He turns around, looks at the 3 of you. You can see now his face. He has kind of a little bit of bags under his eyes. He's got the white, like the aging hair still on his head. And he'll nod, and he'll put some tools down. It appears he was trying to repair some kind of machine or something in the back. And he'll adjust this kind of doctor's coat he's got and walk over to the group. Hello. I'm Sam, and I think you're looking for me. You're newcomers, right?
Yeah, new in town. Hopefully just passing through. Great town you got here, though.
Thank you. It's modest, but I do what I can for the people here. It's very difficult to care for some of them, but as time has gone on, we've received many blessings from passerbys, merchants, even some folk who've decided to stay and take care of things for us. What can I help you with?
Well, we're looking to like I said, we're gonna head out pretty soon, so we're looking to restock a couple of just basic supplies. If you have any you can spare, we do have caps. And also maybe bend your ear a little bit about some of the people that have come through here recently. We're kind of just trying to reconnect with a young man and a young woman, seeing if they've been through here. They'd be heading north.
You see him when you say that, he kind of takes a breath in. Yeah, I remember a young, beautiful couple coming in about 3 days ago. They kept talking about heading north. I tried to get them to stay. Young people in the settlement are a gold mine. It really helps with morale and, of course, with keeping the settlement alive. Both very healthy. They did examinations. They were suffering from fatigue, but that's about all I remember from them. And he kind of looks to the woman, and she nods and shrugs. Yeah, they didn't really talk much to anyone. He nods in agreement.
They happen to say more specifically where they might be heading, talking about where they were going at all?
I can't recall. He looks at the woman. She shrugs. No, like I said, they kept to themselves. They might have talked to some of the people outside who live in the cathedral. But it's hard to determine who that would be. Sam kind of nods and then looks back at the party. As for medical supplies, puts his hand up. Caps won't be necessary. You seem like good folk. I take it you're just here to rest up, as you say. It's good to meet nice people. We've had a few visitors recently besides those two who have been less than friendly, and honestly, I would be remiss if I didn't try and negotiate some sort of favor for these supplies.
Sam, I was about to offer something. Let's see what you need us to do, but he kind of looks at the 3 injured people and whatever he was trying to repair in the back. I was already ready to give you a hand.
He smiles. Oh, the Lord gives us a gift today. He walks you guys over to the 3 people on the bed and points to the one who had the track marks on their leg. We've had a recent run-in for the last few weeks with a group calling themselves the Highwaymen. It's a group of raiders who have acquired means of transportation across the Evergreen. Rumor says they're in talks to negotiate some sort of merger with a much larger and ferocious group of raiders calling themselves the Huskies. And when he says that, I would say, I think maybe Sonny's the only one who knows this, but the Huskies are the ones who have taken over the stadium and the school up north across the bridge. They are bad news. These guys capture people for fun and make them compete against each other for survival. They've come once already. I don't know if you saw that wall outside, but they did that. They've told us that they will return, and if we do not provide them with supplies, weapons, and women, it will be worse. I can't fight back, not with what I have right now. I'm sure you saw our turrets outside. They're useless. They've been deactivated by the Highwaymen. So far, they've been a deterrent for other smaller raider groups or bandits, but when they show up, they know that those things are no good. Our people are scared. Our wall is broken. And worst of all, our morale is next. If I cannot find a way to stop them from doing what they plan on doing, or giving them what they want, both of which are not options I relish. You 3 seem, and he looks at Lance, strong. Maybe strong enough to deter them from coming. Of course, I wouldn't allow you to do this alone. We can provide you with whatever weapons you require that we have within our means, but it's not much. I guess, to sum it all up, we need protection. This settlement is in danger, and I want to do whatever I can to protect my people. So, do this for us. I will give you access to all the medical supplies we have, even if it cleans us out, because that is how much this place is worth to me.
Lance put his hand on where his inside pocket is for Vosu, vault suit and he feels the necklace that he got from the Super Duper Mart. And he looks back at Sam, and he looks back at the place, and at Sonny and Gerry. Look, I don't know how long we can afford staying, but we gotta do this. Otherwise, Sonny, Gerry hire someone else and trail Marcos and V. We gotta help them, but... And he looks back at this whole cathedral. I have to do this.
Jerry's gonna look to Sonny after Lance says this. Boss, we're probably gonna encounter these guys anyways. Might as well scare them off.
Sonny like closes his eyes and like rubs his temples.
If we stick around, we may lose Mark and V. That trail could go cold. We don't even know where they're headed next. Just that they're going north.
I'm gonna say one of the people, or the guy whose leg is damaged, like speaks up very briefly. Mark. I know Mark. And then Sam looks down at the bed and he just like puts his hand, shh, no. Rest. Like trying to get him to like calm down. And the guy puts his hand up. No. Mark. Dude on the bed kind of lifts himself up using his elbows, like half sitting up. That son of a bitch. He's gonna go north. Him and the girl. They're gonna cross the river. They don't have a boat.
Where are they going?
What's north across the river?
It's a good question to ask.
A large swath of land called the Wild Woodlands, stretching from Lichten Springs all the way down to the Fremont. It's considered hazardous. There's creatures like mutated radiated monsters. Gerry would have passed around that and around Husky territory right down the center. There's like a section of land that's like unclaimed. She would be kind of cunning and wild enough to know to get through there on her own. Gerry, when you came down to the Evergreen, there was a place you stayed at. There was a settlement called Holler Lake, and you stayed there one night when you reached the Evergreen in the north. That's the very last settlement in the Evergreen as far in the north. So it's the first one you reached, Gerry, when you came down here. And the gentleman who's leaning up would say, they want to get out of the Evergreen. They said they were going to Holler Lake. And he looks at Sam. And if it wasn't for Mark, he looks down at his leg. I would have lost more than my leg.
Gerry turns to Sonny. I know where Holler Lake is, so I could get us there after this.
Oh, really? You've been there?
Surprisingly, yes. The one place I've been that you haven't.
Yeah, I've been up and down the 5, but I haven't been real north of Lake Union, I don't think. Not too far north. Not outside the Evergreen, that's for sure.
Sam watches hopeful as you continue to converse with each other.
We got the shop opening up in a couple of days. We're still missing Dee Dee. She's still out there wandering around. You sure you got nowhere else to go? You can't just go anywhere else? Miss the highwaymen?
Sam shakes his head and chuckles. No, this is our home. This cathedral, this settlement. St. Mark's is a beacon for those seeking refuge in a difficult and tumultuous portion of the Evergreen. And he kind of takes a look at you, Sonny, and analyzes you. I'm sure you, in your many adventures and travels, have seen places disappear from the map.
I have.
Then you understand why I can't let that happen here.
God damn it. Oh, sorry.
He looks
He
around.
he puts his hands up. It's fine. It happens more often than you think.
I understand you wanting and needing to protect your community. I get that. Look, I gotta be honest, I'm not sure what the three of us are gonna be able to do to help you against a whole gang of raiders. You got any ideas, Lance? And those big, strong muscles of yours?
Well, I got another big strong muscle between my ears. Can those turrets be repaired, Sam?
He nods. We've had engineers work on them, but they're not as experienced as I think you might be with technology, Mr. Vault Dweller, sir.
I'll go give him a look.
And he smiles. Thank you. He looks at Gerry and how she has 2 guns on her hips. 3, I assume, because you have the 10mm too behind you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he...
And the
looks at-
railgun in their teeth.
Oh, the railroad gun! Oh my god, just like strapped to her back. So he like looks at her. I assume you're a very good shot.
I usually don't miss.
Unfortunately, most of our militia do miss. If you could maybe show them, I feel that might improve our chances of survival the next time they show up.
I could do that. And might I suggest the roads outside of town? Maybe set up a trap, funnel them a certain way.
He nods. We haven't really thought about traps. We've been more reactionary, but I believe that can be arranged. And he looks to Sunny. Perhaps you can be the spokesperson for when they do show up and distract them, or
I'm sorry, what?
use whatever methods of speech you can to try and keep them occupied.
I've dealt with the highwaymen once or twice.
You
right?
traded with them once or twice,
Yeah.
but never like as a group. It's always like maybe you've seen a bike. Let's put it that way. You've seen one of them on a bike. Actually, 2 of them on. They go 2 per bike, but never more than 1 bike. Like, that is something else. That's a sight to see.
Yeah, I've dealt with the highwaymen before. Never in a giant group, and never when they're, real riled up for the things that they're asking from you. But, maybe they can be reasoned with. I prefer to use my words mostly from behind these 2.
And he gestures to Lance and Gerry.
Turrets wouldn't hurt either.
Understandable.
I was like, oh, we could get bikes off of this. I'm like, none of us know how to ride a bike.
That would be sick as hell.
We'll learn.
Yeah.
Jerry knows how to ride a bike.
Yeah.
A motorcycle? I don't know.
But I feel like Gerry could pick it up the quickest, though.
Yeah.
Well, and he claps his hands. Let me know if you need anything at all. I can have some of our local repairmen assist you. And should you need ammunition for any points of the pipe gun for that, we have some in our store.
That's the only one I didn't stock up on. So, yeah.
He'll nod, and then the guy on the bed kind of like looks up. Did you tell him how many there are? Normally, they bring about 4 bikes, which is 2 riders per bike. I assume that's what's going to come when they return in 2 days.
All right. 2 days. We got a lot to do.
Sam will nod, and again, express his gratitude. He's like almost bowing to the point where he's like, thank you so much to all of you. And he'll turn around happily, like almost like an extra jump in his step as he goes back to that machine he was trying to repair and just opens up a little toolkit and tries to mess with it.
I think Sonny turns around to the rest of the group and like takes his hat off, and he's like,
I'll be goddamned. They hired me.
Lance puts a hand behind Sonny's back. It happens to all of us at one point, one way or another, Sonny. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Look, man, Marcos is a smart kid. Redmond said so. He seems to be quick of wit, and he's worked for the cause. He must know his way around. I think he can keep himself and V safe for a little while longer. And Redmond, well, he's taking care of Dee Dee. Or at least Jamie is. The Ubedas are really saving our asses here, and I think we owe it to them to respect that they are helping us, and we can, help this place and clear the way of raiders for Marcos in the process. We gotta help everybody, man.
Boss, look at it this way. If we make it out of this, at the very least, we could go way faster on bikes.
You know how to ride a bike, Gerry?
I'm sure we could figure it out. If those highwaymen can.
That wasn't on your resume.
Well, Brahmin technician wasn't on my resume either.
And you're killing it.
I think the group continues this discussion within the tent. Our camera pulls out, almost as if like being a part of the conversation. The flaps close, pulls out of the church or the cathedral, it goes up, and then it cuts to, I'd say that sometime later. It's night. Sam is in his bedroom, and he's taking off the doctor's coat, hanging it up. Sits on his bed. It's lit only by like an oil lantern on like a small nightstand. This room is in the back of the church or the cathedral. It's like maybe one of the like priest rooms from back in the day. There's a makeshift bed there. He looks over to the nightstand, sees something there, and then turns off the oil lamp and goes to bed. The camera moves from the bed past the oil lamp to the nightstand, and there is a postcard. Seems like it's crudely made, drawn by somebody, made in the current era, not in the pre-war era, and we hear the sound of lasers firing, people screaming. The camera focuses on the postcard. It says, "Greetings from Garfield."
I guess some things never change.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Respect the Crit's Wasteland Adventure, Fallout Evergreen. If you like what you heard, please consider supporting us by giving us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, or whatever platform you use to listen. It's easy, free, helps other people learn about the show, and we love to read your feedback. For more information about the show, visit @RespectTheCrit on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or come chat with us in our official Discord server. Gerry is played by Susan Spenader, who you can find on Instagram @SuzLalouz. Lance Burnett is played by Xavier Trudeau-Deschênes, who can be found on Twitter @XavierTD. Sunny Takase is played by me, your host, Ian Duncan, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram @IDunks. Our guest GM for this game is Alex Herrera, who you can find on Twitter @AEHerrera or on his Twitch channel, WadeWolf10. The original music in this episode is provided with license or permission by a variety of talented artists whose info and credits can be found in the episode notes. Please support them by visiting their platforms to hear more of their work and tell them how much you like their music in our show. Our outro song is Some Things Never Change by Gavin Dunn. You can hear more of his work on Bandcamp and YouTube @Miracle of Sound. The Fallout 2D20 RPG system is licensed by Bethesda and published by Modiphius Entertainment. Special thanks to our friends at Modiphius for donating prizes to our giveaways for this campaign. You can learn more and grab your own copy of the official Fallout RPG by visiting modiphius.net/respectthecrit. Special thanks to the team at Fallout Cascadia for use of their music. You can learn more about this incredible, ambitious Fallout 4 mod at falloutcascadia.com. And remember, whatever the system, whether it's a miss or a hit, you always gotta respect the crit. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the wasteland.
How much is a laser rifle worth? So it's about 69
Well,
caps.
yeah.
Yeah. 69 caps.
Good. That's what you say, right? You say good.
Good. Say nice.
Yeah, you say
Good.
very,
Nice.
you say very good.
Okay, now you're ruining it now. Ruining it.